The film opens with a look into the past in ancient China, where a ruler called the Dragon Emperor ruthlessly crushed every kingdom across the land, using his captives as part of the Great Wall of China. Despite his dominance and triumphs, he longed to live forever. For this reason, he sent his general Ming to locate a sorceress, said to hold the key to eternal life. However, Ming fell in love with the witch Yuan. When the emperor uncovered their romance, he had Ming executed and stabbed Zi. Soon the emperor felt grains of sand pouring from his eyes as he writhed in agony, cursed by Zi. The emperor and his entire army became stone statues, frozen that way for centuries. In 1946 at Oxfordshire, England, Rick O'Connell, now a husband and father, goes fishing. Unfortunately, his outing goes badly after several blunders, leading him to fire his rifle out of irritation. Proudly, he hands his catch to his butler Jameson. Back inside his mansion, O'Connell notices his old military uniform in the corner, while setting aside his fishing tools. For a moment, he reflects on his past as an adventurer, yearning for the thrill once again. Meanwhile, Evelyn O'Connell, his wife, is in town wrapping up a book reading for her Mummy series. She is caught off guard during the Q&A, when someone asks if her present life is still as exciting as during the war. Evelyn softly admits she wishes her life was still filled with adventure. That evening, they return home for dinner. After some gentle discussion, Evelyn raises her worries about their son Alex. She explains she has written him 3 letters, with no reply. O'Connell frowns in frustration, remarking that Alex only contacts them for money, especially when he skips school. He hints that Alex never really tries to build a bond with him. In truth, Alex is not attending college at all. Instead, he is secretly working at an excavation site in China's Ningxia province, chasing the legendary tomb of the Dragon Emperor. One of his closest allies, Professor Roger Wilson, soon joins him. Wilson encourages Alex to keep up the search. As they catch up, some of the Chinese workers uncover a hidden gate. Alex's team carefully clears the rubble and explores inside. After detonating the entrance, they barely survive when a first trap triggers. Moving carefully further in, they stumble upon a corpse, then activate another trap, sending parts of the ceiling crashing down. The falling debris lights up the palace, revealing an immense army of stone soldiers. Stunned by the sight of the Emperor's petrified army, the group presses on. One worker accidentally sets off another trap, killing 3 men instantly. Alex panics, but steadies himself with Wilson's guidance. They then notice a feng shui compass pointing the wrong way. Once corrected, the floor collapses beneath Alex, dropping him into darkness while Wilson clings to the edge. Alex lands dazed in a chamber filled with skulls and bones. As he sweeps his flashlight around the room, it falls upon a statue in the center, the Dragon Emperor himself, encased in stone. Overjoyed, Alex calls out to Wilson, but hears no reply. Suddenly, an assassin ambushes him. Meanwhile, Wilson slips away unharmed as gunfire pushes the assassin back. Back in Oxfordshire, British Foreign Office agent Benjamin Fry visits the O'Connells with a final mission despite their retirement. He asks them to deliver the Eye of Shangri-La from the Shanghai Museum. Hesitant at first, they agree, using Evelyn's brother who resides in China as an excuse to take on another adventure. Upon arriving in Shanghai, they reunite with Jonathan Carnahan at his nightclub. Moments later, Alex storms out of the kitchen with the angry chef behind him. O'Connell jumps to help, only to realize the cook is Mad Dog McGuire, an old war buddy from Egypt. They reconnect warmly, easing the tension. When O'Connell and Evelyn try speaking with Alex, he remains cold. He angrily declares he will not return to college and storms off. Concerned, Evelyn takes her husband to the rooftop to talk. She urges him to be gentler and more patient rather than harsh and demanding. Both promise to try harder to fix their bond with their son. The next morning, General Yang learns that O'Connell has the Eye of Shangri-La. At a secret outpost in western China, he reveals his plan to resurrect the Dragon Emperor and forge a mighty empire for China. That night, Alex presents his parents with the uncovered statue of the Emperor.
There he is. Stick around for the next few days when we can open it together. Don't wake the big guy up while I'm gone.
Alex quietly leaves the room in search of Wilson, but when he notices someone tailing him, he grows suspicious. He shadows the mysterious figure sneaking around the quarters. Meanwhile, Wilson stops by to meet the O'Connells and chats with them like old friends. O'Connell proudly shows off the Eye of Shangri-La and hands it over to Wilson, convinced it's safe in his care. Suddenly, General Yang arrives, and Wilson's demeanor changes instantly. He pulls a gun on the O'Connells, confessing that Yang had secretly sponsored Alex's dig to bring the Emperor back to life. The O'Connells attempt to resist, but Wilson quickly silences them, threatening to kill O'Connell. At the same time, Alex discovers the person shadowing him is the assassin he faced in the tomb. From above, she watches the confrontation and finally reveals her name, Lin. Under Yang's orders, they press Evelyn to read the inscription.
Now! Encouragement. Wilson!
Inscription says that only a drop of blood.
As she translates, the relic opens, exposing the elixir needed to revive the Emperor. Yang commands Wilson to execute O'Connell, but just before he can, Alex and Lin intervene, saving him. The O'Connells fight back and manage to subdue their enemies, only to accidentally spill the elixir on the Emperor's statue. Lin plunges her blade into what she thinks is the Emperor, but it turns out to be a decoy. Across the chamber, the real statue begins to stir to life. The O'Connells open fire at the Stone Emperor, but the bullets have no effect. As the Emperor's chariot bursts through the walls, Lin and Alex cling onto its base while it escapes. The O'Connells and Jonathan give chase in a fireworks truck, racing through Shanghai's streets.
We have to turn you around! Hey, we could use that! Let me get it! Pull me out, Rick! Stop! I told you it was a shortcut! Give me your hand! Help Rick! Rick! Yeah, Rick!
During the clash, General Yang accidentally shoots Lin inside the chariot. Alex nearly falls, dangling from the back, but Lin, surprisingly unharmed, reaches out and reassures him the bullet missed. The Emperor slips away, leaving the group to regroup at Carnahan's nightclub. There, Lin discloses the truth. She is a descendant of the Emperor's bloodline and protector of his tomb. Though Alex's parents are doubtful, she insists the only way to stop him is to reach the Shangri-La portal. She produces a sacred dagger designed to kill the Emperor. Despite hesitation, the O'Connells allow her to lead them. Their journey continues aboard Maguire's chopper, battling stormy weather en route to the Himalayas.
Nobody move!
Yanked!
Trekking up the perilous mountainside, the team nearly falls to their deaths before Maguire warns that General Yang is already on their trail. They set up camp that night. Evelyn, worried, talks with Alex about his potential interest in Lin. When Alex confronts her inside the tent, he firmly denies having feelings, though Lin echoes his denial. Still, a quiet tension of attraction lingers between them. The next day, they finally reach the Shangri-La gateway. a temple crowned with a golden spire.
Ain't no Walter P-38.
Thompson submachine gun.
Russian PPS.
As Yang's soldiers take position outside, gunfire erupts. Bullets fly from both sides until Yang's men fire a bazooka, blasting parts of the temple. With the structure collapsing, O'Connell and the others retreat deeper into the ancient sanctuary.
Time to go to plan B! Blow up the tower!
Oh, fingers!
Carnahan tries to ignite the explosives strapped around the Golden Tower, as the fight continues to stop the Emperor from gaining the ultimate gift of eternal life. Outside the temple, O'Connell and Evelyn notice Lin praying and weeping in her native tongue, just as the Chinese soldiers begin overtaking the grounds. Out of nowhere, 3 massive Yetis appear and charge into battle to aid them. Carnahan manages to retrieve his lighter and sparks the fuse while the Yetis tear through Yang's men alongside O'Connell's squad. The tide suddenly shifts when the Emperor steps forward, raising deadly spikes from the earth. Using his sorcery, he halts the burning fuse and terrifies the Yetis, forcing them to scatter. He climbs the Golden Tower, placing the Eye of Shangri-La at its peak. The relic beams a radiant light, revealing the location of the Pool of Eternal Life. As Alex prepares to hurl dynamite at the Emperor, he doesn't see the blade flying at him. At the last second, O'Connell shoves his son aside, taking the sword into his own body. Distraught, Alex throws the explosives wildly off course, triggering a devastating avalanche. As the icy wave bears down, the Yetis shield them from being crushed. When the storm subsides and the land is buried in snow and rock, the group rushes to the tunnel after finding O'Connell near death. Inside, they encounter Yuan, revealed to be Lin's mother. Alex realizes both she and Lin are immortal. Yuan tends to the O'Connells, healing Rick's wounds, and offers shelter. She explains that she and her daughter have guarded the Emperor's tomb for generations, ever since she was saved by the Yetis after being stabbed by the Emperor centuries ago. While O'Connell recovers, Alex confesses his true feelings for Lin. Though touched, she rejects him, explaining she refuses to suffer like her mother, who spent endless centuries grieving Ming's death. Before the moment can continue, Carnahan rushes in with news that O'Connell is awake. Alex goes to see his father, his hardened exterior melting away. He apologizes for his reckless behavior, admitting he has always loved him. O'Connell, stunned by his son's honesty, softens and admits he has failed as a father. The two embrace in reconciliation. Yuan then steps forward, telling Lin she is ready to lift the burden of immortality so her daughter can live a normal life with Alex. The touching moment is interrupted when the Emperor bursts in, hurling fireballs and separating Yuan from her daughter. Using his power, he pins both women down and seizes the enchanted dagger, his only weakness. He then dives into the pool of eternal life, emerging as a monstrous 3-headed dragon. When the O'Connells rush out, they witness his horrifying transformation as his fiery breath lights up the cavern. Consumed by vengeance against Yuan, the Emperor abducts Lin and heads toward Ningxia province with General Yang.
He's taking her back to his tomb to raise his army.
Let's go.
Jonathan to Rick, you better get a move.
That me?
Yeah.
When the Emperor built the wall, he buried his enemy.
Raise an army? That sounds like a plan.
Upon arriving, the Emperor returns to human form and raises his petrified army, uniting them with Yang's forces to seize control of the world.
朕必须夺回天下，广施正义于天下。刘全。
From afar, O'Connell and his allies hide among the rocks as Yuan hurries through an underground passage. She calls upon the spirits within the Great Wall, offering her own immortality and that of her daughter in exchange for the help of the fallen. Chanting an incantation, she resurrects the long-dead warriors, enemies of the Emperor. The skeletal soldiers rise and storm the battlefield, clashing fiercely with the Emperor's legions. Meanwhile, Alex takes matters into his own hands. Disguised, he slips through Yang's soldiers and manages to free Lin from captivity.
Hey, it's my favorite blue shirt.
The Emperor advances toward Z, who stands alone on a narrow plateau while the clash of the resurrected rages below. They engage in a long-awaited and brutal duel, but Z is wounded when the Emperor wrenches her sword away and holds her at blade's edge. Spotting the stolen enchanted dagger tucked in the Emperor's baldric, she seizes her chance, driving herself forward, impaling her own body through his sword to reach the weapon. The Emperor, thinking victory is his, pulls the blade free, sending Z tumbling from the cliff. As flying reinforcements arrive, the Emperor quickly morphs into a monstrous creature and swats one of the planes from the sky. When O'Connell and his team regroup, they spot Z crawling weakly. Before they can pursue the Emperor, she collapses into her daughter's arms, entrusting the dagger to Lin with her dying breath. Lin mourns her mother's death, now mortal at last. Meanwhile, Alex and O'Connell seize the weapon and chase after the Emperor.
Divide and conquer!
They catch him just as he prepares to fully resurrect his army. Alex intervenes, forcing the Emperor to shapeshift into his beastly form once more. O'Connell leaps from behind, stabbing the monster with the dagger, but fails to pierce its heart. The Emperor hurls Alex aside and nearly kills O'Connell, flinging a sword at him. The dagger splinters against the stone wall, narrowly sparing O'Connell. Elsewhere, Lin and Evelyn battle General Yang, who miraculously survived a bombing run by Carnahan. Together, the two women overpower him, and Yang falls consumed by his own arrogance. Back at the battlefield, O'Connell and the Emperor trade fierce blows in a brutal hand-to-hand struggle. Amid the chaos, Alex retrieves a shard of the shattered dagger and carves a signal in the dirt for his father. Recognizing his son's mark, O'Connell seizes the second fragment. After enduring punishing strikes, he makes his move, jabbing the shard deep into the Emperor's chest, as Alex simultaneously drives his piece into the Overlord from behind. The Emperor collapses, and with him, his vast army disintegrates into nothing. Their reign of terror ends in an instant. The group returns to Shanghai after their extraordinary adventure. The film closes with O'Connell and Evelyn sharing a slow, tender dance, while Alex embraces Lin on the dance floor. Both couples cling to each other, wrapped in warmth and love, as the night quietly draws to an end.